They say a man's shadow is his constant companion. It follows him everywhere, a silent testament to his existence. We never notice it until it's gone. For me, that's when the terror began. My name is Liam. I'm a traveler, a photographer looking for the forgotten places of the world. I've found a place that wasn't on any map. A town called Havenwood. The GPS died 3 miles out, and the road was a single dusty line cutting through fields of dead brown grass. I arrived in the late afternoon. The sun was a brilliant white orb in the sky, and the light should have been casting long, deep shadows. But it wasn't. I stepped out of my car, but something was wrong. My shadow wasn't there. I raised my hand. The shadow of my arm didn't appear on the ground. I spun around, checking every angle. Nothing. It was as if the sun couldn't see me. I wasn't the only one. The town square was empty except for a handful of people. An old man sweeping a porch, a little girl skipping rope. None of them had shadows, not even the scarecrow in the field beside the town. It was unsettling, but not yet terrifying. Just a curious mystery. I decided to stay the night to find out what was going on. I found a small, old inn, and a woman with an unnervingly wide smile greeted me. Her name was Mrs. Gable. She, like everyone else, had no shadow. That night, I started asking questions. I asked Mrs. Gable about the lack of shadows. Her smile didn't waver. "Oh, we don't need them here, dear," she said, her voice like sandpaper. "We have everything we need in Havenwood." Her eyes, however, seemed to flicker with something else, something I couldn't understand. Later that night, I was in my room. The hum I'd heard earlier had grown louder. It was coming from the walls, a low, vibrating sound. I put my ear to the wall. It was almost like a whisper. I couldn't make out the words, but the feeling it gave me was pure dread. I got up and turned on the small lamp. The light filled the room, but still no shadows.
The next day, I began to notice other things. The sun never seemed to move. It hung in the same spot in the sky, casting the same shadowless light on the town. And I saw the people. They never looked at the sky. They never looked at their feet. They always looked straight ahead, a vacant expression on their faces. I approached a young boy playing with a stick. He had a vacant stare. "What's wrong?" I asked. He didn't answer. He just pointed a trembling finger at the ground. I looked down, and for a split second, I saw it. A dark, black smudge moved on the gravel. It was gone as soon as I saw it. I looked back at the boy. He wasn't there. He was just a dark, empty outline, a space where he used to be. The stick he was playing with clattered to the ground. I ran back to the inn, my heart pounding. Mrs. Gable was sitting in her usual spot, smiling. "Leaving so soon?" she said, her voice filled with a sickening cheerfulness. I didn't answer. I just grabbed my car keys and ran outside. That's when I saw it. A huge, writhing, monstrous shadow was crawling out of a building's alleyway. It was blacker than anything I had ever seen, a dark, pulsing mass of impossible shapes. It moved with a slow, purposeful grace. It reached out and touched a woman on the street. She stood still for a moment, and then her body simply faded. She became nothing but a perfect outline of herself, a hollow space on the street. The shadow absorbed her, growing larger and more defined. The people of Havenwood didn't run. They just kept their blank, vacant stares. I understood now. They had no shadows because the shadows were no longer a part of them. They were separate, living things that fed on their owners. I got in my car and started the engine. I needed to get out of Havenwood. I looked in my rearview mirror and saw Mrs. Gable standing on the porch. Her wide smile was gone. Her eyes were filled with an ancient, hungry malevolence.
Then I saw it. My own shadow. It was in the rear-view mirror. It wasn't a shadow of me. It was a long, thin, horrifying shape with arms that stretched and fingers that writhed. It was behind my car, and it was moving toward me. It was my shadow. It had been here all along, waiting for the right moment. The town had no shadows because the shadows were no longer a reflection of the people. They were their jailers, their predators, and soon they would be my end. I'm driving now. My foot is on the gas, but I can feel it. I can feel my shadow. It's right behind me. It's no longer a part of me, but it wants to be. It wants to consume me, to take my place. The shadow in my rearview mirror is growing bigger. Soon it will be an echo of me, and I will be nothing but a hollow space on a desolate road, an outline of a person who once existed, and all the world will see is a normal man driving away from the town of shadows.